think this is such an amazing organization. So congratulations, you guys, for pulling this together. So thanks for having me. Looking forward to the discussion.
I will let everyone know.
Not throw away your shot for all the Hamilton fans. On things that either I wasn't uniquely positioned to answer, or frankly, where it wasn't that interesting of a question to answer. And basically advising me that I'd be wise to sort of save it, if you will, for the times when it really mattered and I really wanted to contribute. It's been tremendously valuable for me as just a general lens of thinking through both how and when I speak up. On the other side of things, taking the time to actually prepare what you're going to say about it. Like, what questions did this raise? What implications did it have? Did it challenge parts of the thesis or our assumptions? Like, what should we do next? What trips up, frankly, so many junior finance professionals, and men and women, is that they spend a lot of time on the work, and the work might be good, but not a lot of time thinking through what it actually means. And I think that is what actually makes you stand out as a junior professional. I always found it helpful in meetings with senior folks, like especially whether it was investment committee meetings in private equity or meetings with McKinsey partners, to of course take notes on the dialogue and the content of the meetings, but to especially take notes on the questions that were asked.
I started my career at GE Capital, and I was the only and first African American on my team. And in the beginning of my career, I was, and probably still am, very much an introvert. So speaking up did not come natural to me. I was always the quiet one. It was, I learned later on that it was a lack of confidence that made it really difficult for me to speak up. If I go back and look at, some of the things I could have done better, when someone asked me a question, instead of, clamming up, have a little bit more confidence in the work that I've done and know when is the right time to speak up and know what you're saying as value. One of the ways that you can build your confidence is make sure that you have mentors who can be sounding boards for you. There were a ton of women as I went throughout my career who I could always call on and say, you know what, I have this meeting tomorrow. Can I just run this by you? This is what I'm thinking about. How does this sound to you? Should I say it this way? And I think that was really, really, really important.
When I joined New Mountain, there was a kind of funny moment for me early in my time there, where I was staffed on a live deal, and I was so in over my head coming in from consulting, and I remember at some point the VP on it just pulled me aside and he was like, just Teresa, just do better. And, it was one of my favorite pieces of feedback I've ever gotten, but it gave me this sort of opportunity to do exactly that. It was in some ways, I think getting the tough feedback almost presents an interesting opportunity to respond to it and show that I was listening, that I was learning, that I wanted to do an awesome job, and that I cared a ton about being successful there. I feel like I've been served very well in my career by going into feedback conversations in as much as I can, a curious and kind of growth-oriented mindset. And as much as you can, sort of trying to a little bit take yourself out of it and almost try to listen like a sort of third-party observer. And most importantly, it gets you in this frame of mind where you're more asking questions and really looking to understand, and imagining, frankly, how or why someone might have perceived something differently than what you intended.
Zoom offers a good opportunity because you can actually see each other one-on-one. If you don't necessarily have that opportunity, I think it's really important for us to take that initiative to find the time to make those connections.
Somebody said this to me at one point, and it is so true, which is to not assume anybody has any idea of what you're doing. I think it is frankly impossible to communicate too much. I think certainly if you're working on a number of teams right now, even just a quick morning daily update to your VP or whoever it is, just make sure everybody's on the same page. And again, just give them the opportunity to sort of course correct if needed.